We are getting an inside look at one of the biggest media stories of the past year. Last May, Rupert Murdoch gathered his top lieutenants in his London townhouse for dinner. It was supposed to sort of plot the road ahead, and instead things took a turn. Well, this week's Bloomberg Businessweek takes us inside that meeting. Murdoch trying to decide on a strategy on how to deal with the hacking scandal. Now, Bloomberg Businessweek reporter Greg Farrell tells us the strategy, obviously it backfired. The status of Murdoch's son James as the heir apparent thrown into jeopardy. Sit back with a cup of coffee and have a listen.
May 19th, 2011. A few months after a police investigation has been opened up into phone hacking at News of the World. In the background of all this was a hugely important financial transaction that News Corp wanted to close, to acquire the 61% of British Sky satellite broadcasting that it didn't own. It was not a good time necessarily to be, causing a big stir and bringing an outside investigation. Rupert knows it's time for some parental involvement. The dinner party, Rupert Murdoch, the chairman of News Corp, his son James, Chase Carey, the president, Rupert's number two, Rebekah Brooks, who had been editor of News of the World, two legal heavyweights, Joel Klein, a former assistant attorney general, and Brendan Sullivan, maybe the best defense attorney in the country. The general counsel had recommended, leading up to the dinner party, basically an open investigation. Let's get all the dirty laundry out there. Let's bring in an outside law firm. The concern about that, to some inside News Corp, was this might not reflect well on James Murdoch. It might not reflect well on Rebekah. The dinner was not a showdown where there was some kind of debate between one side or the other. The deal was done beforehand. Rupert wanted to go with the incremental approach based out of London to be managed by Rebekah, with him and James being at some distance. 2 months later, there was a huge news story in London about this murdered schoolgirl whose voicemail had been tapped by reporters from News of the World. This turned Murdoch and News International and the tabloid newspapers into a whipping boy. Murdoch and his son James were dragged before Parliament. A number of people were arrested. The police investigation was ramped up aggressively. If they had gone with the outside counsel and the very aggressive cleanup approach that they are now embracing, they might have spared James the ordeal that he was put through. The series of events that unfolded over the summer ended up exposing James and hurting his candidacy.